Hi, this is Matt at State of Flux here with a review for Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I really decided to do this one after having a conversation with a couple of my coworkers who'd never heard of this film, which seems bonkers to me. Not only because the theme song is so, at least to me, iconic, and something that crops up often during like Halloween season, but also because at one time this was kind of a fledgling franchise, at least in my youth. There are four of these silly movies. The first one came out in '78, the second one 1985, I want to say, maybe it was '84. And then 3 and 4 kind of came out back to back in 1991 and '92 alongside a TV show marketed directly for kids. I think it only lasted one season, but it was something that they sold toys of. I had a beach blanket of this movie. And it's just wild to me that now the modern youth have completely lost it. And this is kind of the perfect send-up of the B movie. And it's kind of weird because this spoof of B horror movies kind of became a B cult film itself. But I gave it a rewatch for the first time since my VHS days this past week. You can check it, at least as of today, on Tubi. I don't know if it's going to disappear because of the month changing or something like that, but Tubi has it free streaming with ads. And I had a lot of I had a good time with it. It was funnier than I remembered it being even as a kid. I didn't gravitate towards the first one so much. I was a big fan of the cartoon show. So that was the Killer Tomato property that I watched the most when I was a kid, and I recorded several episodes off of TV. But I watched the first one because I really liked the theme song. And the theme song and the first 15 minutes of this movie are fantastic. Lots of laughs, jam-packed. It's a good time. Does definitely overstay its welcome. This probably should have been a short film, but alas, this is kind of as I say, a send-up of cult films or B movies and whatnot, and you can see influences from, a lot of heavy influences from Night of the Living Dead, and the absurdity just taken to the next level with the tomatoes. Now, what is fun with that is, especially even in the first shot, you can see like the hand of the person tossing the tomato that they threw in the sink, but then they reversed the shot so that it looks like the tomato's coming out of the sink and rolling and jumping out of it at the person. A lot of the violence is implied violence that happens off screen. As a kid, I was disappointed with that. As an adult, I enjoyed it. I thought it made it funnier and stuff. When I was a kid, all I wanted to do was see the tomatoes kill, and I feel like the film failed at that promise. But as an adult who gets the jokes, it's a good time, especially the first half hour or so. As I say, it overstays its welcome, but the conclusion, the last 15 minutes, are so bonkers absurd that I had a good time with it. There's not much to it. Killer Tomatoes attack. Government tries to figure out what they're going to do about it. There's an amazing boardroom scene early on in the picture. How they ultimately destroy the tomatoes still gets me to crack up to this day. And the one that subverts your expectations by wearing earmuffs. I love the guy who's trying to infiltrate the tomatoes because he's the master of disguise. And all the jokes associated with his character are pretty fantastic. This is a soft musical in that there's like 3 or 4 musical numbers in the film, and they are so out of left field and terrible, but that makes them perfect. So yeah, I like this movie. I'd give it a firm 3 stars. I had a much better time than I was expecting with this movie, and I feel confident in recommending it. Now, if you're going in, as I did when I was young, wanting to see tomatoes fucking kill people, you're not going to get that with this movie. But if you're going into this film feeling like an 80s sense or 70s sense of like Airplane light, even though this came out before Airplane. If that's your sense of humor, you really enjoyed Airplane. This is kind of Airplane's take on the horror genre, and done well and not Scary Movie 3 onwards style. But yeah, I like it. 3 stars. It made me want to watch the other ones, which is probably a bad idea, but this might be a ongoing feature for the next couple of weeks, because I did discover that I have access to all 4 of these little films. So, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, 3 stars. Let's see what Return of the Killer Tomatoes brings, shall we? Thanks for watching, like, subscribe. Let me know what your relationship with this film is. Did you even remember it? Can you believe that mofos out there don't remember it? And if you're one of those people, I'm sorry I called you a mofo. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.